Okay, hi everybody. Noyantis Usergroup, 27th of February 2017. Um, yeah, that's it. Basically, I've had one question in via an email, which we can cover during the course of the youth group. But it's over to you guys. Have we got any questions or requests or feedback on the products this week?
I have something.
Cool.
Me too.
Okay, well that's good. That's a good start. I like that. Who's first?
Mine is, I don't know. Lisa, do you want to go first?
No, it doesn't matter. You go.
Okay. Mine might not take too long. All right, so I'm going to switch over to my screen in a second.
Okay.
But I've been getting flickering on the command bars when I change, when I use tabs. I was going to show it to you. And I think I know why, and maybe we can figure out a way to stop it. How's that sound?
Yeah, sure. I'm all up for updates.
Let me grab the screen. Okay. Okay, so you should be able to see the flicker here because it's pretty slow. I think it'll be okay to see it. Okay, so here's what we have on this screen. These are command bars at the top,
Okay.
and I have command bars here in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And if I just change tabs, this is just a Clarion tab, sheet control tabs on it. If I just change it, this will blank out and then redraw, and this will blank out and redraw, so you'll see it. I hope you
Oh
saw that.
wow. Yeah, yeah.
See how it totally disappears and then comes back? Doesn't matter which of these tabs I click, it does the same thing. Every tab does the same thing. So it's not what it's doing so much. This one you don't see it quite as much. But it flickers every time, every tab.
Okay, now the command bar at the top, and the one further down for that matter, where are they located? Are they a docked or a positioned command bar?
This one's docked at the top.
Okay.
I found out why. I know exactly why.
Okay.
So I can show you where the problem is. And the problem is here in the take event common.
Mm-hmm.
And when you click on a tab, it triggers an event new selection, and it's doing this. And the field is a sheet, and so it's triggering a redraw of the command bar every time.
Okay.
If I comment this out, it's rock solid. No
Now
problems.
scroll up. Oh, you're in common there, yeah?
Yep, this is common class.
Okay, now that will be related to one of two things. Could be the sheet enhancer, because that would pass through the common class. And
Okay,
equally,
I'm not using that.
no, but it's all of the products are derived from common.
Oh, I see. Right. Okay.
And of course, it could be that the command bar is positioned on a sheet, on a tab.
It's not. It's not. Well, the top one's not. The one in the middle, maybe.
But now hang on a second. If the current field
It
starts,
seems unnecessary.
well, how's the parent region set? Because I wouldn't have thought it would have been.
I don't know. That's what I was wondering too, because I don't have it. I looked at the code for it. Here's the screen. I don't have anything set in the.
On the positioned one, you would have an option to set what the parent control is.
Right, but this one's not positioned. It's the whole screen. I'm pretty sure it's not positioned. How do you
Go,
tell if it's positioned or not?
go into the actions. Okay, now let's just have a look at what tabs. And if there's a tab related to parent control, then it's positioned.
Okay,
Ah, yeah, attached control.
this one.
Yeah,
Okay, so this is positioned.
that's a positioned. So now let me just take a quick look at, does it get generated with a default value for a positioned? And it might be that the default value is
what's causing the problem.
Yeah, it could be that it's defaulting it to the actual window itself. If that's the case, we can just ignore it if the parent is the window.
Ah.
Okay, so
What seems strange though is that if I click, say, this tab up here, it's redrawing down here. It doesn't seem like it should redraw down here unless this tab, something changes on this sheet.
just while I'm checking the code here,
when I clicked over here, all of them changed. You know, and this isn't on this tab, obviously. It's not on this sheet.
Well, just while I'm checking this, can you debug out, or message for that matter, I suppose, in there, oh, sorry, just let me just bring the code up. I was going to say what the region, the parent region is.
This thing here.
Yeah. Okay, so just taking a quick look on mine at the same time.
Is there a reason it has to redraw because it's on a sheet?
Yes, probably. If it's on, especially if it's on a sheet. Well, if you comment it out, because remember it's got a big compatible code going back to C6. So if you comment out that do both paint correctly.
Let's see. I'll go ahead and do that. Because I'm wondering if it's even necessary at all.
Unbelievable. I always get called just when we're doing the webinar. Okay, did you, I didn't because I was looking at the actual class here.
Yeah, I just recompiled it. I'm running the app now to see how it goes. Okay, so here it is here. See, there's no flicker at all now. It's really solid.
And where? Oh, yeah, I'm going to say there's a command bar. I can see.
Yeah, this command bar down here, and it's on different tabs. It seems to be refreshing okay. That's taking a while to redraw. There it goes. Yeah, I don't see any ill effects if that's commented out. But there's no more. It's not redrawing anymore, so it's not flickering anymore.
Well,
so that's what I was wondering. What does it do? do I even need to have that there?
It could be linked to, like I said, because it's the common. Sorry, I've just got phone calls coming in. every second at the moment. I think it's the same number.
Yeah.
Keep trying. Sorry about that. Okay, well, what we can do is wrap it inside of an if from to say if it's not equal to the command bar. That makes sense.
Yeah. Your voice got
Hey,
low.
I was gonna say I can't hear you, Andy.
You can't hear me. Hi, Lisa, can you hear me now?
The volume's just low. Oh, it just dropped all of a sudden.
Sorry, I've got like I say, calls coming in. What I might have to do is just pass the phone to somebody else in a second. Okay, can you hear me? Is that better?
That's better.
Okay, let's move that a bit closer. Okay, so
Much better.
okay, so basically, what we could do, I still had a sneaking suspicion that it would be required. It's definitely not in your application, so that looks promising. We could try it on a test app here as well, which I probably would do before release. But for now, what we could do is say, okay, well, let's wrap it so the command bar doesn't necessarily need that. And let's see how that works.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, let me find the code for you. 1 second.
I think for me, I'll just comment it out because I'm still waiting for the network, or not the network, the multi-DLL version of the
Yes.
the templates.
But so it doesn't come back in the future. We don't want to
Right. Yeah.
break your code going forward.
That was just driving me crazy. It looks so much more stable now that it's not flickering every time you do something.
Okay. Just trying to see there's a property which gets set. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll find it on mine and I'll make a note here. But basically, yeah, go ahead, comment it out. I'll make sure I set it here, but do a bit more testing as well. The parent class, the common class, does get to know what product it is that it's talking to. In fact, I've just remembered what we can do. The redraw itself for the command bars called recalc layout. So yeah, that's what we can just ignore. Okay, John, the code is going to be what you want to put in. Where did you have it in yours? Take event common, was it?
Yes.
Okay, just putting it in here now. So, obviously, uncomment it.
Okay.
And it wants to be wrapped inside of an if statement. And the if statement wants to be if self dot app type, not equal NYS APP TYP _ command bars. You got to say you missed an E, but yeah.
I did. Okay.
Okay.
There you go.
Just try that. I'll make some tests here, so I'll put that onto a test schedule here.
Okay. Excellent.
Just trying to think. Sheet. Maybe it's on a sheet. There could be other products on Y, so does
Yeah,
want
no, that's
testing
what I was
on.
wondering.
Well, any controls can be on a sheet, and some do,
Right.
some don't. I wouldn't have thought there'd be a problem on the command bar, but evidently there is on that. So fine, no problem. But we can't take the code out of the redraw itself because you might actually want to force the redraw. So we don't want to comment it out of the actual redraw itself for the command bars. We just want to not bother about the new selection.
Right.
The reason,
cool.
the reason why you might be needing that there would be now new selection. Yeah, on the new selection of a command bar, you might. Oh no, sorry, it's on a window. No, actually, no. Ignore me. I think it's a new selection of a command bar item, which but what's been pressed, but it's not that. No, fine. Let's try that on yours. You can be the guinea pig, and I'll do it here.
At least if I see something odd happening, I'll know kind of what we just changed. And
yeah, did that work? It should do. There'd be no reason why not.
This I just compiled it out, test it. Takes a few seconds to get it going.
Okay.
But that's what I had, and then
if
we have time, we were gonna work on enter key on property grid. I think if we have time.
Yeah.
Later.
Yep.
There. Let's take a look here. Yep, it's working.
And if you switch the tabs at the bottom.
Yeah, it's working good.
Okay, cool.
Working fine. Looks really good. Okay.
Okay, well, one down, so to speak. Although you kind of answered that yourself, but yeah, good. At least the change we've done. When you upgrade, you won't break anything. You'll have they'll be in line. Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, I'm gonna send the screen back to you.
Okay. Lisa, you had a question.
Lisa wants it.
I think I probably want it.
You want the screen? Okay.
I think I need to show.
I'll let you get it because you know which one you are.
Yes. Yes. Okay, so here's my deal. I'm trying to add a report control to a browse.
Okay.
Because what I want to do is, let me take you to the top where you can see it. Because I wanted to stack my descriptions. This is a project that I've worked on since September.
Yep.
But now I'm back to it.
We've mentioned this in the past and so on. Yep. No problem.
So now I'm back to it. And so I have a couple of questions about it. One being, how do I make it, I don't want this double spacing in here.
Okay, that looks like, oh no. It's not related to the icon size, is it?
No. Well, I don't know.
Well, okay, basically you've got the fixed row height. You've got that turned off because you need it where something else, for the word wrap for the third row, for the example.
Mm-hmm.
So that's fine. That does mean that each row can be a different row height. Now, it will take on whatever room it needs. So, e.g., row 3 needs basically 4 rows inside of it, if you will, as the height to show all the way to desk 4. Brilliant. But the other rows, if they have a larger icon within the limitations of the control, it will take on the height of the icon. Now, I don't know if that's the case here, or whether we're just tagging on a carriage return line feed on the end of one of the strings. Pass. Basically, on the rows with no icon, are you using a blank icon or just not setting one at all? That's the first question.
It might be blank. Let's see. Oh, wait, would I look here?
No. I was going to say,
Or,
is it picking the icons up from the Clarion browse itself?
probably because I started out with the browse.
Right, that's no
You have
problem.
built to browse to begin with. So, inactive.
Okay. Probably want to go into the actions of the browse to have a look at the icon being set. Icons. Yep.
Okay, so I am using a blank one.
Okay. So my suspicion, well, just temporarily, let's take. Are they under condition? I take it. Yeah. So let's just take out the blank as a test.
Can you leave it like that?
Yep.
Okay. Oops. Yeah, I know. Just not fast enough. So I guess the answer would be
But
no.
is there an icon in another column? Because you did have two there.
So,
No. Okay. Possibly not that then. Let's have a look. Do any of the descriptions have the carriage turn line feed at the end? Are we purposely setting them to that?
well, I'm using a. I'm doing this. I'm using
Ah,
XAML.
yes, I remember now. But if it's only one would expect it to just be
A bunch of. Would just be a bunch of
just
blanks.
stack panel. Okay, I'm going to temporarily ruin your app here, but can we just set
Okay.
comment out the 5 lines where it's L description equals? Oh, sorry, 6 lines, including the closing of the stack.
Oh.
And let's just have L description equal the clip of account desk 1. Yeah, you've got it.
Okay.
Okay, let's just try that. Okay, just go back to your icons. I've just got I'm sure it's not that, but on the icons column of your browse, you did have 2 where they were specified as blank. Just want to take the other one out as well.
Okay.
Okie dokie.
But what if there's that? Would that come into play now or no?
That's still come into play. Yeah, you're just not going to put a blank icon in. But that's fine.
Okay, so leave that there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was the other blank, which I thought. Let's just put the XAML back in again, and then we'll quickly recap for the purpose of the recording.
Okay. Okay. So that one was another one. Okay.
And if you turn on inactive, do you get the icons back?
Yeah. And it's not making them big, so it's the size of that blank icon?
Yeah, it must be. So basically, there's two things here just for a point of a recap. You wanted the requirements of this. You wanted basically to have variable height rows depending on parts of the description. Being multiple lines, and that's fine. The top one being a very good example. So in the report control, you turn off the fixed row height. That gives you the ability to have variable row heights. Then you tricked it by using XAML to create basically a word wrapped cell content just for the description. So perfect so far. But one of the characteristics of the variable row height is it will take on, as I say, and there are limitations. Let's take all those into account, but it will take on the required size. So let's just say you add more than up to desk 4 and you add maybe 10, 12, 20 lines, it would take on all the required room. And I use this for some medical notes, so I know it does grow to quite a stretch. I think we're showing something like 64k in there. So it will take on what's needed. So it's brilliant for that. The blank icon probably was something like a 32 by 32 blank icon. So of course it's going to make each row 32 pixels high because the characteristics of that icon required it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it really.
So if I bumped my thing down to make sure it was like at least 16 by 16.
Yep, and you could put it back in if you wanted to, although you don't particularly need it. If there's no icon on there, it won't paint one in the report control.
Oh.
So you're actually going to get better performance by not specifying the. It's going to be very small to be fair, but you don't need to go specifying the blank icon.
Oh, okay. Well, then I just won't.
I think it's along the lines of the default icon. If you wanted maybe to show a dot or an X or a default icon for all the active accounts, then that's where you would use it. But the blank icon can be used, for spacing as tricks of the trade, so to speak. But in this instance, it was actually hindering you.
Okay. I see. Okay. Well, then I'll just leave it off and not worry about it. So that's one thing. So my second thing is well, crud, now it's showing them all. Because before my data ended on this 946, it wasn't showing any of these last ones, and maybe it had to do with the way it was calculating, and you just couldn't scroll that far
Well, looking at that,
down.
I'm going to guess that this is a page-loaded browse because I can see basically that is the Clarion browse on the right-hand side, the thumb of it. Is that correct?
On the right hand,
Yeah,
what?
the
I'm
actual
not sure.
the vertical scroll, the thumb bar.
Oh, this right here?
Yeah. So this is is it page-loaded or is it a legacy app?
Not legacy, but it could be page. It is page.
Yeah. So basically, if you just switched back to the actual running app, or yeah, just temporarily, when a report control, when you use a browse enhancer, if it's file loaded, then perfect. It knows by the time the browse is painted with whatever filters and whatever filter products you're using, it's got the entirety number of rows that are required. So you got a 1,000 row database, and only 750 required. You'll end up with 750. So then, in that instance, the report control will hide the Clarion browse, take on all the characteristics of it, size, position, so on and so forth, and it will use its own scroll bar, the vertical scroll bar. But if you're in page loaded, it has no way of knowing what the potential total number of records are because of filtering and so on and so forth. And of course, it's page loaded, so you haven't got everything loaded. So what it actually does is repositions the Clarion browse to be just a vertical scroll bar. So your vertical scroll bar there is the Clarion browse, not the report control. All that works pretty good. The variable height would have been tricking it a little, to be fair, because although we have done some changes, is this template fully up to date? Because the last build had some enhancements in this area.
No, I don't think. No, it's not, because I actually had to change it, the CodeJock version, to say other, to set it to 17.3.
Right. Yeah, because basically, and this is that's just with I can tell from see how it was working. Earlier versions of the browse enhancer on a page loaded browse use one particular calculation to see how many rows were in the browse, and it was to do with the line height, the prop items of the browse, so on and so forth. There's quite a few factors what it took into account, and yeah, variable line height could basically trick it and make it fail. So make it look like it's not got all the data loaded, or make it load finish loading a little early, so you'd end up with a big blank space at the bottom. The last version of the report control, the current version, is better for that. So
Okay.
yeah, I would either suggest switching to the latest version, which is always a good thing anyway.
I can do that, yeah.
Yeah. Or, depending, if there's a lot of data expected in this, then fine, you probably have to keep it as page loaded. But if there's not too much data, then I'd recommend file loaded, because then you're using the CodeJock browse itself, vertical scroll. All the data still coming from the Clarion browse. There's no problem with that, but I think you just get better scrolling results from using a page loaded in this instance.
Okay. Well, that explains the next question, which was why my scroll bars weren't moving on me. See how it jumped all the way to the middle? And
well, I could tell that as well. It's that's a characteristic of the page loaded browse.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll change that then and get updated.
Yeah.
So
I mean, the latest version would still show like that, because that's a characteristic of a page loaded browse. It either puts it at the top, the bottom, or the middle, and you click above and below. If you switch it to a file loaded, you'll see it'll give you a true representation. So if you just want to switch to that and compile, and let's just take a quick look.
Would I have been better off to not have a browse underneath this thing to begin with?
Not necessarily. No, I think if you're used to the browse, you've got all your code in there, you're filtering and so on and so forth, then no, just use a file loaded enhancer over the top and it's perfectly fine.
Okay. What do I need to change to get, well, let me click down, to make this header bar like have that underneath line so it looks, so
Okay,
it's more distinguished from a,
yep,
like
definitely, yeah, and that's to do with the
like
theme.
on here.
Yeah, to do with the theme setting. So let's
Okay.
take a look at your global extensions, but watch if you've got your license compiled in, because this is recorded and you don't want your license going out to everybody.
This one does not have it, I think.
Well, if you
let
just
me
go to the first,
make
we only
sure.
want the first page, so there's no problem.
Okay.
So if we just go to oh, it's coming up, sorry.
It's thinking.
So you've got specify, that's fine. You've got Office 23 Publisher.ini. Really? Is that one? I've not tried that one.
Yeah, Dave helped me figure that out because it was the colors that I wanted, but that's not, or maybe you know what, maybe I'd been playing around.
It's a file actually in the folder, the Office 2013 DLL.
Right. Oh, you're asking, is it?
Yep.
Well, no, let me look at, might have been playing with colors, and that's why that's there. Let me look at, let's see, this one.
Yeah, the color settings would be different. The color settings would be per global extension template.
Yeah. Oh, well, it is publisher that I chose.
Okay.
But that's weird. It was showing as blue highlight bar, not green.
Okay, just run it again so we can see your command
Okay.
bars, because you've got that's your command bars as well.
Okay. Well, the color part's not really the issue so much as it is I want the header to look like a regular header.
Well, what you could do, just for example purposes here, to show you the difference. If you've got Office 2010 DLL in the working folder, can you just check for us? You can still leave the CodeJot version, there's no problem with that.
I don't think I do.
Have you got, oh, no, just that one.
I've only got 2013, but I can copy that.
Yeah, it would be in your project files, x86, CodeJot, the particular version, ActiveX, the version, and then sample style. CodeJot software.
I only have the one version on this machine.
Okay. Yeah, I've got mine going back to version 11. So, samples.
Oh, wrong place.
Oh no, sorry, back up one.
Oh.
And you should have one called styles. Is it? Yeah, third one. Oh, there.
So copy this here.
Now, you changed the CodeJot version, is that correct?
No, I didn't
No.
mean to.
Ah,
Oh, dang it.
it's okay. What
Yeah,
I was going to say, don't worry about that. If you go back in and use one of the predefined color sets, so you've got it's where it says theme. Choose Office 2010. And that'll fill in the other two for you by default. So that'll just go with the blue. Let's just take a look at that and let's see if that gives you a different look. Might not be the look you're after, but that'll be a different look.
Okay.
Okay. Can I just look at see the settings on your report control? Because it might not be taking the actual color settings from the global extension. So on that
Okay.
procedure, and I think it's something like second to last tab, and it'll be global resources, something like that. Oh no, they're set to use.
Well, here's a question. Does report control play nicely with makeover?
No, report control will take on the settings of its own of its own theme settings, because all the actual settings for the report control are taken out of a shipped. Well, all the settings of a modern report control are taken out of a theme DLL. Historically, they used to be built into it, but now they're not.
Because that was another question I had, was having to do with makeover and VLB. Well, still didn't change this part.
I'm just gonna let me check. I've got an example of the report control here. So let's just open that up. Just for your example here. And what I'm doing on mine, I'm just going to check my global settings, make sure that they are Office 2010 external, just like yours are.
Okay.
Office 2010 external, Office 2010 blue. Yep, I'm using a different version of the control, but that shouldn't really matter. Okay, I won't be self-presenter in a second, but yeah, I'm getting blue blue headings, as I would expect, on the enhancer as well, of course, obviously. So, switch back to yours. There's no overrides taking place in the embedded code regarding the theme settings, are there?
I don't think so. I don't think there's anything. That's just resetting the filter. That's setting the description, and that's it.
No, that's good. Okay, can you just do a search for, sorry, in the source.
Okay.
Dot apply theme. Apply theme 2010, and it's got it. Silly question. It's not something like it wants regenerating, is it, or something like that? Because that should actually do it. And the 2010 file is in that folder.
Oh, well, let me see what's in this folder. Well, apparently I'm not running out of there, so. And it's in this folder right here.
Okay, then let's take that external file out of the equation. So I'll just quickly change mine to one of the built-in. Like I say, the older versions of the report control did have built-in themes. So I'll go to, I don't know, something like Explorer. Let me just see what you should expect here, and then we'll try it on yours.
Okay.
Oh no, I mean that will give you a line, but it looks very white actually. It looks very plain and vanilla in colour. That might not. We want something to stand out so we know that you are getting the effect. Okay, brilliant. Okay, so I've just chosen Office 2003 Lunar. Should give you like a bluish colour.
Okay.
That's on the global extension. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. So you chose this one,
That
Luna?
one. Yep, and now you see it's disabled the other controls because that is one of the older styles built into the control itself. It's, I think, from about 16, 17, they started making all the new themes go external files. So let's save that and let's have a compile. Okay, so it's definitely taking the theme settings into account. Why it weren't picking up the external one, the Office 2010, I'm not sure. Let's take it again, but yeah, basically that proves that we are affecting that with the theme.
Right. Okay.
Let's just go and try the Office. What particular one are you wanting to get to, or what effect are you trying to achieve?
Well, I think I picked Publisher because that's what I chose in the command bar for the colors that it was displaying. The kind of greenish color is what I had wanted.
Right. Where's your command bar with the theme, with the publisher? Oh, I can see on the file there. Yeah, I've got you. Okay, let's try that then. So you're on there. Brilliant. Actually, what you could do is quickly cheat. Just cancel that a second. Go to, is your command bar not in here? Is that in a different app?
Yeah.
Okay. Then, yeah, back onto that then, sorry. And let's choose one of the built-in Office 2013. External. sounds silly. Can you just reselect the Office 2013 for me? Yeah, but instead of Office 2013 white, it wants to be the publisher setting.
Okay.
You okay? Save that and compile. See how it looks. This time we're using a predefined Office 2013 theme setting rather than the resource theme setting.
Okay. Well, it definitely did something different.
Yeah. This sounds crazy, right? That, I happen to know, is Office 2013 style because it's automatically capitalized all your headings, which is one of the Office 2013 theme settings. So it's doing what it says. I just don't know what effect the publisher is supposed to look like. Should it have a green background? Not knowing that theme setting, I don't particularly know, to be honest.
Okay.
But the
Okay. Well, I can
2013
keep
is
playing.
the 2013 is being applied because automatically all the headings go capitalized with 2013.
Okay.
So,
All right. Well,
so yeah,
maybe
but
that.
the publisher I've not tried. Sorry.
Okay, that's cool. Is there something that you can do to make, what controls the color of this, like the edge of the screen itself? That's being controlled by
That's your Windows settings.
Windows
Yeah,
setting?
active. Is it active Windows, something like that? Yeah, I think it is some active Windows Zone. I mean, what you could do is you could put this is the Clarion 10 app, obviously. You could put crikey, skin framework on there, but it wouldn't change your buttons anymore and so on. But you could try it. You just want to try quickly add a skin. Is this a multi-DLL app?
It is.
For now, let's just go. We'll just add it to this. What you would normally do with a skin framework is, oh, hang on, no, you could. Yeah, I tell you what, let's just switch back to mine, and I'll show you the skin framework to see if it's the kind of thing you want to go down, because it might be
Okay.
could be a lot of work, and you might not get the effect that you're after.
Okay.
Actually, it's not a lot of work, but you know what I mean.
Right, right.
Okay, so let's bring it back to me. Let's just close that. And bring in the skin framework for an example for you. Now, unfortunately, most, if truth be known, of the functionality of the skin framework has been inhibited by recent soft velocity updates to the actual runtime library. The skin framework uses a standard Microsoft setting where you can apply visual style files to your applications. One thing you can do to block that is when you ask Windows to create you a control, be it a button, window, radio, whatever, you can apply a property called owner drawn, which means basically external applications can't manipulate it. It's yours and yours alone. Soft velocity never really did that except for sheet controls. And then in version 7, they started to apply it to the menus, and in version 8 they did the same. Version 9 they did some more controls. I think it's when they was having problems with Flickr, so they started applying the owner drawn to the point where they've more or less killed off the skin framework product, because now you can't really apply too many settings because soft velocity have taken ownership of all of them. But you can still do some. So, for example, list the scrolls on the list. So this has got, I think it's an Apple theme on it, but this should be coming out blue. All of a sudden they've changed it now, so that's not the case anymore, and so on and so forth. So it's a bit of a shame, and the buttons don't take on the themes, but you can apply a theme to give it a different coloured background. So if we did that, just thinking, is there a different skin? I say blue. So you can see there straight away all your windows, just by one quick setting, all your windows could take on one particular setting if you wanted it to. Don't know if that's the kind of a thing you're looking for.
Might be.
Not necessarily blue. I'd say open this up and have a look. There's loads of different theme settings you can get. Let's go for. Vaguely remember there being a greenish one, like you say. What's that? Zune. Yeah, dark. So basically, this is overriding Windows, and it's making your application now have dark titles, that particular icon, because it will take out. It still do the Windows settings. That's great. It's just the likes of the owner drawn, which Soft Velocity have stopped.
Well, that's a shame.
It is. Clarion 6, just bring in that same example compiled in C6, and it's crazy just how different it is. So just one second. Okay, same example in C6. What we had, and you see straight away the buttons.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all nicely rounded, taking on the settings. These look slightly different as they're supposed to do. The scroll bar's gone blue. The checkbox has taken on the Apple checkbox. The radio's the Apple checkbox. But yeah, I don't know if Bobsy ever gets to watch these back, but he did make a promise to us a couple of years ago that he would basically make a backwards compatible switch for the owner drawn setting, purposely for the likes of this. So if somebody does want to apply these settings, then they can relinquish a bit of control and let them go backwards compatible. CIDC this year, I think I will actually be asking him for the same again. So, but in the absence of that, you could have a play about with some of the different theme settings you can get off the internet, and see that takes on a Windows 8 type window. Just trying to think if there was one to go with your publisher type interface. But it's a very fast way. In a multi DLL, all you would do is add it to the center, the central DLL.
Mm-hmm.
On here, I think there's a setting for it. Oh, sorry, not global extension. Add it to the data, the central DLL. Click multi DLL and say declared in this app.
Okay.
And then on your application frame, and you don't need it to do it in any other windows. You only ever do it in the central DLL and then on the app frame. And on the app frame, you would add it here. You would say it's there, but declared in another app.
Another app. Okay.
Yeah. And then last but not least is you add an extension to your app frame. And on that, you apply the applicator.
Okay.
And you say basically what skin you want to use. So I'm shipping a CJ Styles Apple.
Okay.
I wonder just if we can see. Let's just take a quick look if I can get you on like a publisher type file, just to see if we can see one.
I never would have thought of looking at this.
So here I've just brought in from there. They've got Can we get that? Seasons wallpaper. I'm just after, basically, if you get a file called a CJ style, and let's just open up the Clarion examples first. Sorry, the CodeJock examples. The CJ style is nothing more than an MS style file, which is cut down, because the MS style file can include wallpapers and a whole range of things to apply to your Windows, whereas you just want to apply it to your app. So it's nothing more than a cut down version of the MS style file. So if we have a look at the ones what are shipped with CodeJock, and I think they might. No. Okay, let's go back to one of mine then. Lotsofskins.com, something like that. Oh, looks like that domain name's gone now. That didn't last long. Okay. CodeJock themselves, let's have a look at theirs. Yeah, they've got that Windows XP. Don't know if that would go a bit more with your publisher type style.
Okay.
So basically, take a look at those, and in your application folder, there's mine. I've got some. So let's just choose one. We'll go with that Windows XP Royal. On your applicator, on the main application frame, we'll go there. We'll say, right, we'll use that one by default.
Okay.
We'll compile, and the app should take on. So it's definitely, I think it's taken on the blue. There must be a setting for green. But if we look at our thing now, so the whole thing's taken on that setting. So it's a matter of playing about. Find one which you really like, and
Okay.
Dave's got some as well, and yeah, try that.
Okay. All right, that's very helpful. Thank you.
No problem. Okay, has anybody got any other questions?
Didn't you have somebody email you?
Oh yes, good thinking. Let's take a quick look. Okay, so this is from Steve Wilson, and basically he's saying he's got a browse that's coming in from a file. This is regarding report control. I have a browse that is coming from file, and I'm using report control enhancer on it. I'm trying to use cell selection, which I copied from the example with cell select. Okay, it's got compiled as example. So embeds. Okay, so what he's trying, let's just switch back to the report control example, and we'll explain what he's trying to do, and we'll try it in this example. So on a manually loaded report control, by default, as you click, you're getting the whole row. Now what you can, and we can see here that it's been selected. If I double click, we can see the row's been accepted. You can turn on cell selection, just like you can in Clarion. Same here, except as you're clicking around, you get not just the row, but which column. And if we was to double click on licensing there, we would get the subject of 008, which we have. So he's got a report control enhancer. It doesn't say whether it's page or file loaded, so I'll probably go with the file one to start with. And he's wanting to do that same. He's wanting to trap the cell selection. So let's just take a quick look at this. Enhance. We want the file loaded. We go to our report control, which is attached to the browser it's enhancing. I should imagine I can't remember where the cell selection is, but I'll take a look myself. Actually, I think it's on rows. Allow column cell selection for the columns. So first off, let's just check that is the particular flag we want. Which it is, so we can see now that I've clicked on Clarion CSP, I'll click on Matthew Murdoch. So now he's saying that he wants to make sure that he can consistently tell not just the row, but which subject is being clicked. So let's just make sure we've got those. So let's just paste those in there. Quickly English phrase. Quickly drop those onto the screen so we can see which ones have been selected. And then we'll say which embed point. Now the embed point should be for our report control. And we should have row selected. And it receives the two parameters, row ID, column ID. And we'll just update the screen for those. Let's just see this is working for him first. Oh, file loaded. So we are on row 5, I presume that's row 5, and we're on subject. The main thing I'm interested in is seeing that this changes accordingly. So that looks good. So what's he reporting? The problem is that it's not consistent. Sometimes I get the column name and sometimes I don't. I've used the same embed points. Okay. Try it by the keyboard as well as the mouse. Try scrolling. Let's try that same test on the page enhanced. Page loaded enhanced. So let's just take a quick look. Because I'm not sure which one Steve's using, so we should really address both. Okay, page loaded. Oh, and turn on the cell selection, of course. Hmm. Well, we've covered how you do it. I'll point Steve in the direction of the video and even the test app, but I'm not. I'll be honest. I'm not really seeing a particular issue. We'll put that down to. That was the question what got asked. We'll put that down to. An unknown. I'll liaise directly with Steve on that. And a question just come in here off Paul, and he's saying, where do we get to the old recordings? And basically, it's on the Clarion Live. Wikispaces. So Paul, Clarion Live, Wikispaces, Usergroup Meetings, Noyantis, and here they are. And they get uploaded quite soon after the end. So today's might go up tonight, probably tomorrow, depending on the how long the video takes to convert. But yes, basically that's where you'll go for them. Right. We've got no other questions. John, shall we take a quick look? Oh, sorry, Lisa.
Well, no, I just have a question about licensing in terms of when are you supposed to include that license info in your global apps versus when you wouldn't include it?
We quickly touched on it last week, but I'll just quickly recap.
Oh, I'm sorry. I too much last week.
No problem. That's no problem. The general rule of thumb and a good guideline would be, from your point of view, I would put it in straight from the word go.
Okay.
Yeah, I would put it in straight from the word go. From my point of view, because I switch into the global extensions quite a lot, I don't want to include the license in there because they're all recorded. I'll be giving everybody license codes, which CodeJob would be too happy about. Now, the reason I still use, for example purposes, version 16.4.0 is, up until that point, if the control was registered on the machine, probably in the install directory, so program files x86, CodeJob, blah, 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 if the controls were registered in that folder and the .lic file was in the same folder, then that's fine. You would actually work straight from the off, and your controls would initialize and all good, and so on. From 17.0 onwards, they didn't want you to do that. They wanted to make sure that the license was being basically specified on the as the control was being initialized, if you will. So I would go with always compiling. If I'm using 17 onwards, and in my apps I do use 17.3, then I do compile the license in straight from the word go. So I'd encourage you to do that. And if you're using reg-free.com when you're on Clarion 10, so there's no reason why not, then again, I would recommend using reg-free.com. The only thing which could be a bit of a gotcha, so to speak, is, let's say on here we did say use reg-free.com and just keep it in the working directory. So in there you would have the actual physical OCX file. Then the application will, on a compile, create you the manifest. But do ensure that on your application manifest you don't have link in. Just at least once after you've changed that setting, because what you don't want to do is get the particular generated manifest out of sync. So I'd probably, if you're using reg-free.com, turn that off, because you've got to ship a couple of manifests with your application anyway. So you might as well ship the main one with your app.
Okay, I see. Okay.
So
thank you.
No problems. Okay, shall we? What's time we on? Should we spend the last 10 minutes see if we can put the groundwork in for that enter equals tab on Property Grid?
Sounds good to me.
Okay. So it won't be templated up, but at least it'll be prove the theory before we attempt to template it. So let's bring in property grid. And just making my notes. There we go. So we'll just take this. So basically, we'll stick with the greeting text. And what we're after doing is, we've probably got tabbing turned on, which we have. And we've got it set to skip. So the settings we've got are tab takes you to navigate to the next control, but skip the caption. And we'll just quickly check that, but I know it is. So navigate between items with the tab key, skip captions on tab key. So far so good. So you're still wanting that equivalent, but if you was on there and you press enter, you want it to do the equivalent of tab. Correct?
Correct.
Okie dokie. Then let me open up some things here. Let's bring that in. I'll save that change to common, which I mentioned to you earlier. Okay. It's going to be in the event func, because that's the lowest place that any of the callback functions occur. There's one in the common class and there's one per each of the products. So it's going to be in here, and it's going to definitely be in, then I would say that, after edit. We could even trap it on there. Basically, what you can say is if you can make an item be required. So it's the equivalent of the if incomplete check. So if it's past that test, because basically what we're saying is if you require required immediately, what that means, making a bad example of this, on a particular item, I can say am I on the right group here? No. On a particular item, I can say I want this to be required, and the way the required is implemented, you can say whether to do it all at the end or as you're going through the particular options. Required item, check immediately. So it's something that we'd have to take that into account on our settings. But if I was to blank that off, oh, that's what it's doing. It's doing cancel. So it's basically cancelling the edit and putting it back to what it was. It's not giving you a message. It's just cancelling the edit. Yeah, that's right. So basically, in this after edit, what we're going to do here is we want to trap if the last keystroke was the enter key. So I suppose that's our first thing. Do you know what? That's not quite. We'll just do it here. I'll wrap it in all the settings afterwards. not sure it's going to be there or on key down if you want the truth, because you've got a couple of events that we could trap this on. So if I just type and tab, that's great. If I type and enter, no, that's not going to do it for us, unfortunately. We'll try the on key down then. So what I would do is have a look. We want the after edit, well, that was no good. So that's no good. Key down, and we want the key code. So let's just take that across there, bring that into here. We'll chop for key down. And according to this, the first parameter is the key that's just been pressed. Now I think we already trap this elsewhere. So that's our first parameter. So we can say, okay, get that parameter for us. And I need to know let's try that. I'm not sure it's the same key code. It should be. We can try. Oh, yeah. Okay. Tab. So far so good, John. We can trap the enter. I think the next thing we need to know is what would trigger first. And I'd like to use the ultimate debugging here, but oh yeah, we can. Because I do need to know which triggers the first, the enter or the after edit. I'm presuming it would be the enter, the keystroke. Put that down there a little. Oh, not turn deep. And that shouldn't make any difference actually. Yeah, not turn debugging on. Okay, so the enter triggers and then it's the after edit. With it so far, John?
He had to step away a second.
Ah, say it's got very quiet. Yes, you're following what we're doing though, and this is good knowledge because this same approach is how we do things in any of the products. So you get to see basically the callbacks, what exactly happens, and now I look them up. So
cool.
into here, the little lightning is the events that are going to trigger. So it's just a matter of finding which events trigger in which order. So I can see here that I wanted to trap the key down, got the key code. So that's brilliant. I want to drop the enter key, and then the after edit would trigger. So basically, the plan of attack is I still need the after edit to occur. And what I was thinking then is if on the basically set a flag to say the last key happened to be the enter key, and then in the after edit, if that flag is set, go and select the next item and put it straight into edit mode on the next item, basically emulating the enter equals tab. So that's the idea behind it. So on the class, I'll introduce a new property. Last key code, which is ulong. In fact, what at any one time we could just do self.lastKeyCode equals that. We can actually get rid of storing that, and now we've got a new property available to us. Self.last key code equals enter key. Now I'm going to force it to do the enter equals tab. This will be wrapped inside of a new flag. And I think we have we have an edit item. Just let me store that. Yeah, okay. About one of John's updates, requests from a couple of weeks ago was to do with this edit object. So we might have actually done part of the work this week. Oh no. Okay, so basically I'm going to use a thing called edit item. We go to the property grid and take a look at edit item. It wants to know the particular item to move on to. just going to try a press key. Very crude. Just wonder what that would happen. Oh. Don't know where I was putting that then. Okay, I'll finish that off because I'm just looking at the time at the point of recording. But basically, yeah, I don't know if John's back or.
I'm back.
Are you back? Oh, well, basically, John, where we're up to is I've introduced a new property on the property grid called last key code. That's set at any one time for us. I mean, we can still try to spend a bit more time. We tried trapping it in the after edit, but the normal Clarion key code didn't work. I'm not surprised by that because Clarion hasn't done the entry. CodeJock's done the entry. So we trapped it via the mouse down, via the key down instead. So now we set it in the key down, last key code equals, and we get the parameter from that call. And then after edit, now this does need tidying up quite a bit, but in the after edit, we're saying if the last key code is enter key. Now the press key didn't actually work. It put us back on where we wanted to be, but that's not quite right. It's working out what we need to do there. Now I just need to have a look because we brought this edit object. If you remember, well, you wouldn't, but you remember we did the thing where we wanted to select by default when going on to an item a few weeks ago. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So basically, I think it's linked to that. Got to make sure we don't break that while we're doing this. Set the parameter equals false. Basically, not that one. The thing we're trying to do is edit the next item along. Now, the property grid itself, if we use this edit item, it wants a raw object. How are we going to get that? Oh, perfect. Okay. Perfect. Okay, because basically what we can do there is we could say we want to edit the item, but what we want to do is edit self.getProperty. Want to get the index. I think it's each item has an actual index number inside. If we look at that, forget what the difference is. We'll go with index. We'll get the index of the property that has been selected. And we want it to be, oh my days, what's the direct value, find item, and wants to be that index plus 1. That correct? I got my things correct here. So we're going to use the find item command to return another raw object. And we're going to do it via the ID. So it said ID, not index, okay. We've got what's already selected, so we get the ID of that, add one to it. That should be for that close, so that plus 1, close that, and the edit item, comma 1 there. Cracky, I don't know if that'll work, but we can try it. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. That closes that. That closes the find item. That should close direct value. Then we'll close that. John, you never set easy things.
That's
okay, but there is.
Hey, look.
Oh no, I pressed no. Spoke too soon. No. Enter. Why isn't it this?
They should just make it right the first time. They should ask me.
Put that. Okay. Well, look, we're running out of time, but I will flush that one through because it's more or less one's putting on an option, obviously, and so on, but it's not going to be a million miles off. It really isn't on that. So
I'm surprised no one's asked Kojak for these things. I mean, they seem pretty sort of standard. Maybe not.
Maybe we're spoiled with Clarion. They can be spoiled from
Could be.
a Clarion point of view, but yeah. I'll just quickly, if we're all right for a couple of minutes, we'll just.
Oh, sure. I can see how the enter key might not be a thing, but clicking on it and getting the full item selected seems like that would be a normal thing.
Yeah. I've got to find where it was. That was close, so I think that was the end of that. That was the debug of that one. Make sure we're getting some debug as well. And the other thing I wanted to check was that we actually had a. No, sorry. Yeah, it was the ID of what we were currently manipulating. Now, before people start sloping off, we'll continue on with this just for a few minutes, but I'm not available for next week's webinar, or I'll bring up a calendar. Yeah, I'm not available for the 6th. I am available for the 13th, but I'm not available for the 20th. So just to be awkward. Sorry about that. Hopefully still go ahead if people want to, but if they don't, people understand. But basically, yeah, I'm off globetrotting, so to speak. I'm on Egypt on the 6th, and I'm in Tenerife on the 20th. So
I'll just cancel them. That's what we do with Net Talk. If Bruce isn't going to be there, we just cancel them.
Fine. Yeah. Apologies for that. The 6th I knew about. I booked it, but the 20th is a surprise party, and my cousin's taking 20 of us away. So who am I to complain? So it's very generous of him, but yes, unfortunately, it does mean I'm not here.
Well, as long as you wanna stick us in your suitcase and take us along with you, then we'll be okay for you to cancel.
It's pretty cool. I have to admit, I'm looking forward to it, but because there's a load of family going for his 50th birthday party, but he's decided to hold it in Tenerife instead. I haven't a clue why, but yes, so. They're the week, so I'm not available on the 6th or the 20th, unfortunately. So sorry about that, guys. Right, now back to this, and let's have a look at what we get on the debug. So on here, and we press the enter. The find item isn't returning anything. So that's why we're not getting what we're after. We have got an ID. Wow. I don't know what that ID is. That's not. I wouldn't have expected that. Okay, so it looks like it's the find item that's going to let us down there. So I'll have to think of a different way around it. What it'll probably be is along the lines of this will be very crude. At that, as long as we can get it. Temporarily equals so basically I'm going to go on RQ. If the CodeJock one isn't going to return what we're expecting, then I'll go on RQ instead. So enter. I actually think it's our select on default which is causing the problem, John, if you want the truth. Back the code we put in. No, yeah, well, there'll be ways around it. but it was on the mouse up, and of course we've got the mouse up and so on, and so, yeah, just got a gut feeling that it might be linked to that. I wonder. Oh, that was never going to work. That was rubbish. Didn't want to be that. It wanted to be that. No, ignore that a second. It's me telling it to go and reselect the same object. Yeah, there it is. Press tab. Next. Press enter. Next.
Aha, sweet.
So that's the enter key.
Look at that.
You have to believe me on it. No.
Oh, no.
Okay. Yeah, because the enter object only ever gets set if it's certain types of control, and you don't want that to select like there. When we go and edit, you want it to go and select all that and so on. If it's a checkbox or a radio, you don't. So basically, that's where it's it needs its own variable. I'm pinching the use of the other variable, and I can't do. So that's no problem. Where's the edit object? Last.
And then the next thing will be up and down arrows. Put those to work.
Sorry, John, you're cutting out. I can't hear you. Sorry, John.
Sorry. So the next thing will be...
Yeah, no, you're still cutting out.
You heard me. I know you heard me.
But
Nice.
it'll be along the same lines. So we could do basically trapping on the last key code. So in here we'd probably have a case on the enter, and we'll basically enter or down, do one, up, go and get the pointer -1. That type of approach.
You know that would be nice, though, right?
Agreed.
Up, down, left.
You'll have to watch this spin.
Yeah, you have to watch spin.
Yeah. So that's the only thing you'd have to watch there.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's not terribly important either. But the enter key is definitely cool.
So what did I just do? Last got edit object. Last edit object. And I won't make that private. I'll let it so you can actually. Oh no, it's private. You can just interrogate it. Oh well, no. You never know whether it'll come in handy. I think I spend my days just basically copy and paste.
It's really so cool to watch you, though, go in and make all these changes, and then that quickly you're affecting the way the functionality of the template works.
Yeah, well, I mean, and I say this all the time, but it is the feedback. It's like John said, we're as Clarion guys, we used to enter equals tab. Now we're interfacing with CodeJob, but they probably never heard of it, and why should they, and so on and so forth. Whereas we want it, so let's put it in. It's feedback. We've got to make these things fit into the look and feel of our apps, or they're going to stick out like a sore thumb, so to speak, and we don't want that.
Right.
So,
cool.
So that's the idea behind them. I should be able to, in here, grab that. We've got that pointer thing, and then make that do that. So far so good. now. Now, is that because, that might literally because you can't press enter on a, can you normally? No, you can't press enter on a radio. That's not actually anything to do with us. That is CodeJock not letting you press the enter key on a checkbox. Or on a radio. What about on a font? No. Data should imagine, yeah. That, yeah. Picture, no. Okay. So there's going to be a problem, and it's a restriction of CodeJock. That it's going to be we're not going to be able to trap down, because that event, if I put debug in there, we're not getting the actual key code. We're not getting the key down, sorry, event for these type of controls. They are mouse only, unfortunately.
I could live with that. I think a lot of times it's going to be I enter a value and press enter so it accepts it, and then I'll go off and do something else.
Yeah.
You know, I'll necessarily be entering all the way through all these different things.
Yeah, so basically that's the only thing. So I actually bet we don't need that. If I have a quick look at edit objects, self.edit, I bet I'm not overwriting it. I bet I'm just interrogating it. So forget that. I use it, I set it, I use it, so I didn't need that last edit after all, which is fine. If we don't need it, let's not. Oh, I don't know if it's key up or up key.
I think it's up key.
Up key.
I think so. Yeah. Down key. Is that what you want? You want down key for that one? It's the down up key.
Actually, no. We'll do it a different way. Sorry, no. Okay, I should actually do your up and down key at the same time there, John, in theory. Definitely have to watch that with spins though. Oh wow, it's been a couple of hours. That's more than okay. It's not telling us those keys. The enter, yeah, but it's not telling us those keys. Shame.
That's okay. That's okay. Enter is great.
Yeah, let's take that back then. Are you using the latest, John?
No, because I'm kind of waiting
Thinking,
for
yes,
the
yes, yes, yes.
multi-DLL thing.
I was just thinking, so you could get this into yours now.
I know. I'll probably just have to take this and do a compare and see the new stuff you've put in. And
You'd probably be, well, under conditions. Give us a shout when you do it, because if you wanted to get it in, because you want yours turned on all the time, then you could, until you get the thing, just use all of this and then just comment out just the if conditions, like when editing. So just take that as a true and just go straight to that bit.
Right.
Okie dokie. Oh, actually, okay, so the cancel equals false and you pressed enter. So that'll cater for the above scenario. Okay, that just wants wrapping in a flag of its own, but that is good to go.
Next week, multi-DLL.
Next week, Egypt.
Next week, you're not here. Darn it.
But then
The week after.
Week after. Maybe it could be one of the actual jobs where we can do a bit each week. Oh, hang on, there is a fault. Because now, when I try and click elsewhere, oh
No, did it break something?
Yeah. Okay, well we should finish up. We're already breaking 2 hours, so I will finish this and we'll get a release out soon. There you go.
Excellent, thanks. Thank you.
Mouse down clears the last key code because you've not pressed a key. You've done mouse. Well, there you go. In fact, I'm going to actually get that finished in the morning and get a release. You can expect a release probably tomorrow/Wednesday morning.
Cool. Yeah, maybe we can work on like one template set at a time or something.
Yeah.
For the multi-DLL.
For the multi-DLL, yeah. Get the backbone of it in. A bit, maybe just last. We'll do the questions, and if we're all in good time, then we'll dedicate a tiny bit of time to that as well.
Excellent. Sounds great.
Cool. Okay. Well, sorry about next week. We're going to have vacations and so on and so on and so forth.
Yeah. Don't worry about it.
They're not thingy. They're not frequent enough. They're not too bad. So I shall see you the week after.
Okay, Andy, you're gonna have to explain this concept to me sometime. I really don't know what you're even talking about.
The what? Sorry.
Vacation. I'm not even sure what the word means. So at some point you'll have to explain it to me.
What do you guys call it? Do you call it vacation? Do you call it? Oh, I get you. You don't actually know what a vacation is. Well, come across to the UK. We're really good at them.
Okay.
Okay. Cheers, guys.
Bye.
I shall
Thanks, Andy.
speak to you soon. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.